I'm a big fan of travel. You see, the more I travel, be that just within Thailand or outside the country, the more I need to plan my next venture. It's very addictive. I'm very fortunate to have a job that demands much travel within the kingdom, with most of my time spread between Bangkok, Pattaya or Hua Hin, that's where I am now, lovely resort behind me. I count my blessings, and I'm all too aware that if you live somewhere like the UK, have a young family, and hi Frank, and you work, you're largely under the control of what the structure demands. From school time to work leave, I hated this governance and constraint. Really, it was not very pleasant. I, for one, remember all too well how it used to be. In fact, one of my fundamental reasons for escaping this predictable rat race was that very reason. It was one day in particular. Call it my breaking point. I made the usual walk to my train station in Rochester, Kent. I'd got a little wet from a freak shower. It would have been about 6:30 in the morning, so it was still dark and a tad cold out there too. I'd got used to it. I got on the train bound for Cannon Street, London, and took my usual standing position. Yes, there were no seats when I got on, ready for that 45-minute route into the city. Now I was speaking to some colleagues on board. They're also standing and they were wet as well. I could see on their suits from the rain. And I asked them, is this as good as it gets? To which they shrugged. I remember it. They guessed that was as good as it was. I was 29 years old and I could see that, give or take the odd job promotion, I would be taking a similar commute for the next 30 or so years. It sent a shiver through me. Don't get me wrong, I really liked my job. It was as challenging as it was rewarding. I didn't leave the country to come to Thailand because I didn't like what I was doing. I was making a big difference, and as far as I was concerned, I had a big career ahead of me. But boy, did my life look predictable, and I hated the idea of that. Couple of holidays a year, few barbecues with friends and family during the weekends each year, every Saturday spent shopping for grocery at Tesco, Sunday doing my laundry and some ironing. I was just going to be another cog in the system going through the motions. And that's what it is, don't kid yourself. Anyway, I got to my office in Old Street, London, and I asked the same question to my team who I managed. Now, they were much older than me, so they would have had more wisdom, but they'd been part of that system much longer than me. The best retort they could muster was, well, at least they had their summer holiday to Spain to look forward to. That was the best they could come up with. In my eyes, they were counting down the days of their very short and precious lives, so actually wishing away part of their lives that they'll never get back for 2 weeks of summer vacation. It did not add up, and it was at that moment I decided I no longer wanted to be part of this rat race. The rest, as they say, is history. I've now been living in Thailand over 12 years. Doesn't seem possible, I know. I look very young, don't I? I'm joking. But it does beg a much bigger question. That the simple one of where best to live, and the toss-up between earning potential against lifestyle. Although I'm going to challenge you that you can actually have both if you put your mind to it. Although, hands up, I'm pretty sure I've made a financial sacrifice with my decisions. I would be lying if I didn't admit that sometimes I do wonder where my career may have taken me if I stayed working in London. But then I look at what I've got now and how much travel I've done in the space of 12 years and forced a pretty good career out here in Thailand. Look, where I am now, it's for work. I make decent money now too. And really, isn't life all about inner contentment? I'm quite sure more money in the bank does not directly equate to more happiness. But yes, in the same breath, look, I really haven't drawn breath. It does help, I know that. Decisions, but the point was I had the courage to make a decision. And most of us merely coast along with our life's journey and are unwilling to make a big decision in our life. And that is a big shame. As it's their life, our life, that they're compromising. Life and the purpose of life has frustrated me. I've read lots of books on this, actually. As I'm sure millions of people before and millions more after with me will keep looking at the same content. The frustration is the that there's not really a grander plan for us or a reason for our own individual existence, whatever we try and make of it. We are merely a blip in time, a brief moment of time, and then we're gone, and in no time at all, forgotten, forever. Those that look for a legacy are chasing the wrong prize, as no one's legacy will be remembered. We just all need to make the most out of our short time here in this world, even if it is a selfish decision. Someone's got to make these selfish decisions for us. And when I talk to fellow expats, I can detect that there's a similar trait here. One that says, I'm going to do what I want, and if that means relocating to Thailand and shunning the system and expectations for me that I once belonged to, then so be it. And for that, everyone here needs to be applauded. Life is short and you must do what is right for you, or at least what you think is right. The point is, make that decision. It's your life and no one else will manage it or tell you what to do, so don't wait for it. Make that choice. Without wishing to sound like a life guru, of which I'm most certainly not, I'm just an expat living and working in Thailand, doing my best to understand my actions for why I'm here and why I needed to leave the UK. And I just enjoy being able to share that with others. It's something that, I feel very rewarding being able to articulate in that way. And if it can help just one individual, as cliche as it sounds, then that's a wonderful bonus for doing that. Life most certainly is an adventure, but never forget it is your adventure. So do what you please, even if it's just to be a troll. I'm used to these messages, and write a negative comment underneath my vlog. My friends, fill your boots. Until next time.